Hello everybody, Buddy Web Midland, Texas. What we're looking at is one of my TikToks here on the Buddy Web 827 TikTok. This week, I posted 3 videos a couple days ago right here called, it was proof showing I was not shot with my gun. And meaning when I'm not proof showing I wasn't shot with my gun, meaning somebody broke in my home and shot me with my phone lines cut, and that's a premeditated capital attempted murder. We're talking about life in prison case here. This is very serious stuff here, and there's an embarrassing amount and multiple proofs showing I wasn't shot with my gun, such as size appellant. And then the shotgun shells that wasn't checked in by the CSI, and then the plastic in the wound, and on and on and on. Not to mention 50 other people, documented reported people in the attic and everything else. Anyway, this one, 12 gauge shotgun, okay, I did this, and I got this comment here, and it was automatically, it was like, oh, there's this guy right here is trying to cover up the crimes and murders at my house, right? And I'm going to show you the name right there. It was user whatever. Okay, you did it to yourself after all that proof and evidence, you know. And so, I write and I said, the evidence clearly shows I didn't. What is your connection to this capital attempted murder and the 4 murder deaths Aaron Packover said happened here? Are you trying to cover up with them with lies posted on social media, or were you directly involved? Because I don't know who this person is. And then I get this comment here. You did it with a tripwire. You go look. You admitted it. That's more lies, you know. And I'm like, this person is trying to cover up these capital murders. Okay, I said that's a lie told by Detective Rosie Rodriguez. And if you look, there's no tripwire in evidence because I wasn't shot with my gun. That's in addition to the multiple proofs showing that I wasn't shot with my gun. Furthermore, I shot with burglaries going on my attic, and now there is over 50 other homeowners documenting reporting people in the attic. This was a home invasion and premeditated capital attempted murder. Aaron Packover told me that 4 people had been murdered, died in my house before they tried to kill me, and proof was found showing that 5 MPD officers, Davis, Dickey, Chadwell, Angel, and Hale, were under my home that night. Your name is Matt, right? Were you the guy that cut my phone lines and shot me 22 hours ago? And he hadn't replied, okay? Well, let's go look at user whatever, okay? Here's the user, and his name is Matt Nacho 2. Well, what do you want to bet that's Matt Davis that was under my home on the night, a police officer under my home on the night that I was shot by somebody under my home, okay? And I want to show you another thing here over here on my YouTube channel 4 years ago. Here's a video I posted called Walmart Underground Facility. And it's a phone call with a landman named Keith Thurman who tells me he believes he found an underground facility near the North Walmart, and that's about a half mile from my home. And that's about a half mile from the Home Depot store. Anyways, Matt Davis 4 years ago said, I stole the evidence and nobody will ever find out, buddy. Okay, so, that's one of the cops. That's one of the police that were proven to have been under my home. And I'm going to show you the evidence that was stolen. And then I think, as in yesterday, that's still Matt Davis that's sitting here that's stalking me is what I think, And this guy, I think, maybe was the shooter. That's what he might have been the one under my home that cut my phone lines and shot me. Anyway, I'm going to show you here. This is transcript from court testimony in December 2013. I was shot in January 2012. So this is like 22 months later. I get this absurd subpoena for a protective order hearing for the ex-wife who I hadn't seen or talked to in a year and a half and lived over 100 miles away. Okay, come to find out, her lifelong friend was this cop, Rosie Rodriguez, and one of the main dirty cops in covering up the murder done to my life. And she testifies under oath there was a tripwire that went across from one wall, from the south wall to the north wall. It was connected to a shotgun. Okay, can you determine if it was shot? Oh yes, man, I can look at a gun and tell if it was shot, which is bullshit. Another lie. This is felony aggravated perjury right there is what that was. Now let me show you the proof. Okay. Barrett, the crime scene investigator, he documented on the police report when after I was shot. I then proceeded to 3802 Fair Circuit process the scene and I I collected evidence from the scene that included a shotgun. He had nothing about a tripwire. Okay, Rosie Rodriguez was asked in court, is there a tripwire in evidence? No, there's not a tripwire in evidence. Why? Because I wasn't shot with my gun. That's why. Because there never was a tripwire. That was a lie made up by this dirty cop, Detective Rosie Rodriguez. And here's the proof. The crime scene investigator picked up my gun, and there wasn't no tripwire when he picked up my gun, and he checked in my gun as evidence right here. That was the crime scene investigator. And this tripwire was 100% lie. There is no tripwire in evidence. But the people are trying to spare it, or the people trying to cover up this premeditated capital attempted murder. And I think it looks like it might be Matt Davis. Okay, I'm going to show you here. Here is the police report right here on the bottom, okay, or part of it, that I got 7 years after the murder attempt. It was subpoenaed in 2013 for that protective order hearing and illegally held by the police. And the reason they withheld it is because it had incriminated evidence, and it time-stamped these police at my home when they were not seen arriving on the camera. So I'm going to show you here. I'm seen crawling out at 10:42. Woodward and Naylor are seen arriving at my home at 11:01. That's on camera, timestamp. Matt Davis, that's the guy right there, at 11:03 is at my home and not seen arriving. Dickey's inside my home, not seen arriving. Chatwell, Angel, and Hale. That's why I always say Davis, Dickey, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale were all seen arriving. Now let me show you here. Here's the video. Here's the security camera. Shows Woodward and Naylor arriving. They wasn't even dispatched. Took 6 years to get them identified. They're there 11:01. And here, this is Dickey. He's at 11:03 inside my house. But Davis was here at 11:03. He was here at 11:05. And minutes later, they were not seen arriving. So how'd they get in my home? They came from under my home, and it was somebody under my home had shot me with my phone lines cut. Ain't that a crazy? Now, as I showed you, buddy, I stole the evidence and nobody ever found out. What evidence? It was a voice recorder that I used to record the burglar alarms going off in the attic. That proved that I wasn't shot. I was shot during a home invasion. I didn't accidentally shoot myself. Well, here it is. The nurse documented me telling Detective Rosie Rodriguez I was talking on a white voice recorder, and I was saying what they were doing. I have proof. Just go look. There's proof. April Chandler, another cop right here. Right here, that's her. She says, I found the voice recorder. It was checked into evidence. That was a lie. Here's the evidence logs. Matt Davis, that sergeant I'm telling you about, okay, checks in the 222 guns and checks in keys and a Hull, but there's no voice recorder. And now keep in mind, Hull is item number 4, okay? But the voice recorder, that's when it went missing. That's when it went stolen. And I had told them. So the police stole proof that I told them about. That's what happened. I said proof was at my house. Go look. And they went and stole it. That's what happened. Okay, so I made a big point of the voice recorder right here was not checked into evidence. And also the shotgun shell wasn't in my gun that Marty Barrett, he checked in the live shells, but didn't check in an empty shell. And if I was shot with my gun, there'd be an empty shell in my gun. Well, guess who checked in the empty shells? Matt Davis. Okay, right. It looks like he did this right before he quit. And the voice recorder. This all happened a year or two later is when they modified this. They scribbled out item number 4, scribbled it out, and hand wrote in shotgun shell voice recorder because I'd caught them. That's why. This was printed at the protective order hearing 22 months after the murder attempt by Matt Davis, okay? December 2013, and the hole was there, okay? It's not crossed out at 22 months later. But then when I get this, when I got that new evidence log, it is crossed out. And I believe he did that, and then he quit the police force, okay? That's what he quit, and I think they found out that he was involved in this murder attempt, so he quit, went to work for National Oil Vargo, and now I think he works for the governor. Let me show you here. This is his Facebook page. That's what he looks like right there. This is 2016 when the governor was down. He was working with Governor Abbott. you know, I think he may be still working with Abbott, and he might have been the shooter, the would-be killer, sneaked under my home, cut my phone lines, shot me, tampered with the evidence, lied on the police reports.